and welcome to Oscarsborg Fortress, one of our favorite places to be in the summer. If you are new to my channel, my name is Nina and I'm so happy to meet you. Today's video I thought I would take you along around the island and show you this beautiful place. The construction of Oscarsborg Fortress began in 1845 and was finished in 1855. At that time, Oscarsborg was the most modern fortress in the whole of Northern Europe. In 1940, it was a military facility run by the Colonel Birger Christian Eriksen, and as you can see behind me, this was the house of the colonel. He lived here with his family and was in charge of this facility or this fortress. The Oscarsborg Fortress was neglected for years, so he had too few soldiers, and they had also neglected the equipment of the facility. He was a guy from north in Norway. He came from Lofoten and, as I said, lived here with his whole family. In the 9th of April of 1940, he got the message that outside of Sweden they had observed 50 German ships coming towards Norway.
Tennikhøye, avmelding!
Festningen stiller 480 mann, oberst.
Sludder! De 430 rekruttene som kom inn her for dager siden, kan jo ikke brukes til noe annet enn å måke sne!
He tried to get hold of the government in Oslo and couldn't get hold of anybody. And the last command that was given was that there were to be no acts of war, no shooting.
I april vil det komme klare ordre om vi skal mobilisere eller ikke.
During the night, they got message that the ships were getting closer.
Dette nyhetene fra norsk rikskringkasting 8. april klokken 22. Det tyske lasteskipet Rio de Janeiro ble torpedert og gikk ned utenfor Kristiansand i formiddag. De skipbruddene brakt til land. Det kan se ut som de fleste overlevende militære.
Det kommer nye meldinger. 30 jobbolærerne har vært i kapp.
Early morning of the 9th of April in 1940, Colonel Eriksen found himself in a difficult position of finding out what to do. He had to make the decision alone. He could still not get hold of the people in Oslo, and he decided that he was going to fight back. The Germans did not expect the Norwegians to fight back. We had taken a neutral position in the war and was firm that we were not going to fight. So Mr. Eriksen had to make the decision on his own. He had too few people and had to get people who had worked here before, who was no longer in the military, to get up at night and come to Oscarsborg. So at 4:20 a.m. in the morning, he gave the orders to shoot the biggest ship in the convoy. The ship was called Blücher. The attack took about 8 minutes. First, they shot the ship with 2 cannons, and it was a perfect hit. But the ship kept going, and a few minutes later they torpedoed the ship and it was hit by 2 torpedoes. Blücher did not, it kept floating for about 2 hours and sank just outside of Oscarsborg. Before shooting, Colonel Eriksen said, "I will either be considered a traitor or a hero. Fire." We can only imagine what a difficult decision this must have been. He had not enough equipment and not enough people, but they did a perfect job. And when Blücher was hit, it was one of the newest and nicest ships of the German army. It was only about 6 or 7 months old. It had a crew of about 537 or something people, and they were also transporting a lot of soldiers. So when Blücher was hit at 4:20, it kept afloat until about 6:20, so for about 2 hours. The ship was carrying a lot of oil, so the oil was spilling and it caught on fire. 400 soldiers and all of the crew, about 550 people, died that day. Some of the soldiers froze to death in the ice-cold waters, and some of the soldiers came into the burning oil and died soldiers. They only got 1 lifeboat on the water and made about 2 trips with just a few wounded soldiers, and the rest died. And my son-in-law's great-grandfather, he could remember them trying to rescue the soldiers, and they were clinging to the boat so much that the boat almost sunk, and they had to hit the fingers of the soldiers so they would let go of the boat. So you can only imagine how traumatic and awful this was. Blücher went down behind me where I'm standing now and is still laying on the ocean floor. Blücher still lies about here on the bottom of the ocean, and this is where they try to rescue the soldiers. The Germans, when they heard that Blücher had been hit, they retaliated and they bombarded Oscarsborg for 11 hours by plane. Most of the buildings were destroyed, so the house you see behind me, Colonel Eriksen's home, was totally destroyed. So it has been rebuilt after the war. The fortress did also suffer it was damaged a lot, so they have done a lot of repairs. After being bombarded for about 11 hours, Colonel Eriksen had to make another difficult decision, and this time to surrender to the Germans. So the 10th of April 1940, the Germans took over Oscarsborg.
Jeg hverken kan eller vil utsette mannskapet for dette en gang til. Så jeg har tatt min beslutning om å overgi festningen.
When Blücher were hit, the other ships turned around, and the attack on Blücher and Colonel Eriksen's decision delayed the invasion of Norway for about 30 hours. That made it possible for the Norwegian king and the Norwegian government to get away before the Germans invaded Norway. So Oscarsborg had a big impact on the war and the invasion here in Norway. So it's considered a pretty important place when we talk about the World War II in Norway. This is a memorial for the fallen Marines of the Second World War. Today, Oscarsborg Fortress is no longer a military facility. In 2002, it was no longer a military facility, and today it's used as a recreational or a place where Norwegian come to enjoy the island and the weather and the summer. There's a great marina here, there's a spa and hotel, and I will take you around the island and show you. There are two ways of getting to Oscarsborg. You can take the ferry from Drøbak, which is our city, and that goes here, it's the grey ones, or you can take the ferry from Oslo, directly from Oslo to Oscarsborg.
I wanna get you all alone now and go hide away from the lights, but I don't dare to, I'm too fragile, and for that I do apologize. Maybe someday we can work it out, but I'm afraid it's too late to try. Baby, I don't dare to love you, and you know the reason why. Don't you know I'm way too weak to swim? Can't you feel the waves come crashing in? Running out of safety nets, cause every night I fall down in the middle of the night screaming, oh my God, cause your love's too deep. You know your love's too deep. I reach out in the middle of the night screaming, oh my, cause your love's too deep. You know your love's too deep. And it feels wrong, but I'm not afraid to admit I used to feel safe next to you, babe. Now I'm thinking I deserve a hit. Maybe someday we could work it out, but I'm afraid it's too late to try. Baby, I don't dare to love you, and you know the reason why. Don't you know I'm way too weak to swim? Can't you feel the waves come crashing in? Running out of safety nets, cause every night I fall down in the middle of the night screaming, oh my God, cause your love's too deep. You know your love's too deep. I reach out in the middle of the night screaming, oh my, cause your love's too deep. You know your love's too deep. Running out of safety nets, 'cause every night, I fall down in the middle of the night screaming, oh my God, 'cause your love's too deep. You know your love's too deep.
In August you can watch an opera here, so right now they are, I think, getting ready for that. There is also a museum here where you can learn more about the history of Oscarsborg. And it's a restaurant. That concludes the tour of Oscarsborg Fortress. I hope you enjoyed it. As I said, it's no longer a military facility today, and since 2002 it is open for the public. Most Norwegian go here by boat, as we have done. It's a guest harbor here. It takes about 100 and something boats. You have to pay to stay here. It costs, for our boat, it costs about 300 Norwegian kroner, 350. That's about 30-35 pounds. Yeah, a bit more in dollars. Many go here to the cafe to eat pizza and have a beer. Some go here to to swim and to sunbathe, just to enjoy the island. There's a lot of rare plants and flowers here, so some people come here for that, and others come for the history of the island. You can rent a guide here, or you can go on a guided tour that's 1:30 every day. The footage I used, where you saw the soldiers and the actors, that's something called Oscarsborg in combat. It's what we call a walking theater, where we follow the actors around the island. It was very nice. There are operas here and concerts and a lot of happenings. And as I said, you can go here directly from Oslo with a ferry, or you can take the bus to Drøbak and take the ferry from Drøbak. We have been here since Thursday. Today is Monday, so we are heading back home. We are coming back in about a week and a half, just to stay a night or two, and then we will travel further down south in Norway, and of course I will take you along. I thank you so much for watching. If you're new, I hope you will subscribe and hit the notification bell so you get notified every time I upload a new video. I upload about once a week. Please leave a comment. I love your comments. I try to answer all of them. Okay guys, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you again in a week's time.